Alrighty, well I'm back at it again today. It is Sunday, January 24th, and it is 1:30. I should be arriving to my hunting spot right at 2 o'clock, which is perfect. That gives me plenty of time to get up in my tree stand. I did leave my hang-on tree stand in the tree last night. I was a little scared to take it down in the dark, to be honest, but it is a really good spot, and I'm excited to hunt it again today. Almost had a doe last night, but a branch was in the way. She was perfect, 20 yards broadside, just one branch was right across her middle abdomen. And if I was standing, I could have taken the shot because if I was standing, it would have moved the branch to her lower belly, and then I could have taken the shot. But unfortunately, I was sitting and there were 6 deer all around me, and I knew if I stood, it just wasn't gonna work out. I thought about taking the chance to stand, but the way the trail that she was on, the other deer were moving in close, so I'm like, maybe I'll get a shot at another one. And then when that deer walked off and didn't really present any more shot opportunities, I did decide to stand up because the deer that were coming in on my right and left side. They were kind of V'ing out, and I didn't know which way I needed to be positioned, so I slowly stood up, and I have to lift my seat that I'm sitting on as I'm standing. I slowly tried to stand up, and in the middle of me standing, the strap on my seat made like this little sound. You know, there were 6 deer in front of me, and all it takes is for one to hear it, and one heard it, didn't like it. She took a couple hops, and that was enough to make them all hop off, and they weren't even really scared. They were just like, ooh, what was that noise? Took a couple hops and stopped, but they stopped at 50 yards and then stood there for like 45 minutes and didn't come any closer. So that's the chances you take when you move that much deer in front of you. So it is what it is. Bow hunting, yay. Okay, so just got parked in my spot. It's just after 2 o'clock, which is honestly pretty good timing. Just trying to get dressed here. People are staring at me because I'm probably the only person still bow hunting in January. I really do believe that face paint helps and break up the shape of your face. I feel like it really does help. When deer look up at me in the tree stand, I can tell that they stand there just a little bit longer than they normally would to try to figure out what I am with the face paint on. And sometimes, like last night, I had a deer look right up at me and did not care at all. And I think it's because I have face paint on. Also, I'm holding still and whatnot. I mean, I'm pretty blended into the tree, but you know what? If it can help, I'm doing it. Because I don't just go do all this effort for nothing, you know? Why not? Let's do some green on the chin. And do the colors matter? Probably not. Could I do this all in black? Yeah. I do the different colors for me. I think it's fun. I think it looks good when I take pictures. There. I like it. Here we go. It is very quiet. There's some snow accumulating on the ground. It makes it a heck of a lot easier for tracking them on the off chance that I actually get one. I'm all set up. It's 3:45. The deer come in right at 4:30. Late season seems like they don't get up and get moving. They really don't get in here till 4:30. I'm excited because it is so quiet. I'll have roughly 2.5 hours to hunt. Almost all of them come from across this tote road. They come this way. And they go across here. They come down this way, so hopefully if a deer goes across there, that's definitely my best shooting lane. I also have another shooting hole. Right here I have an opening
which is a huge crossing right here. So I'll have to stop them to use that one. I have another opening right here. And then where the deer was last night is that grassy patch right there, but I can shoot through. There's a hole right here that I can shoot through in these branches. This tree seems to be the central tree that they all pass through. If the deer come and do the same thing they did last night, I'll go home with one. So, right. Wish me luck.
Right.
second too late because the deer took one more step and put its shoulder right behind a branch. I think I got a small deer. I think it was small. But I'm at the end of the season now, so I can only do what I can to fill my freezer. I'm excited, but I'm nervous at the same time. My bow is shooting a little bit low. I don't think I remembered to aim a little high. But in theory, it shouldn't matter. I think I had a clean pass through. I'm gonna get down in like 10 minutes and go look at my arrow because I can see it. They came from across the creek and they came down here, and there was 4 of them standing right here, and that's right at 17 yards. I think I can see my arrow right there. That little red dot on the log laying down is my arrow. So I'm gonna go check it out. It's hard to see it, but you can see the deer was standing right here. When she stopped in behind here. Even though I went met, she was right here. She took one more step and boom, put herself right behind here. And then she turned around and went back this way. And that's when I shot her right here. And then they took off and went across the creek again, back where they came from. So, okay, I gotta go check out my arrow. I'm losing light, so I gotta make decisions quick. I know they went across the creek for sure, so a deer won't hear me walking around. Here's my arrow. Oh yeah, it was a complete pass-through. Pass-through all the way. Yep, smells like blood. It's a complete pass-through. Sweet. Great, fantastic. I've never had a complete pass-through before. Alright, I'm gonna stick my arrow right there. We're gonna go track this deer. Should be bleeding pretty good. Okay, I don't need my flashlight. She went across the creek. I saw her go across. It's getting dark. But I can see blood all the way over there. I gotta go in and look. Okay, so last night I decided to back out because I tracked the deer about 100 yards and she went up into this bedding area, and it's like this little island surrounded by a creek. So I knew she was going to stay up in here if I got a good hit on her, and she probably came up here to bed and die. So I backed out. I only tracked her 100 yards because from my tree stand I could literally see all 6 deer run 100 yards. So I just wanted to see, like, maybe she fell. I did hear a couple of deer crashing, so, but no, I wasn't able to find it last night, but I was still on blood when I left. There's a tiny bit of snow on the ground. See, look at the snow. Just a little bit, but that is enough to be able to see blood. So we got up this morning, came down here right at first light, right at 7:20. So we're tracking my deer now. We've come about, like 150 to 200 yards. And we're currently tracking this deer, following the blood. I mean, it's a couple drops here, a couple drops there. We're just following blood now. I brought my husband with me and he's gonna help me look, so here we go. Okay, so there's just really a couple of drops. Like, there's a drop here, a couple of drops there, and this is what we're following. Okay, so we've come another 50 yards, and I was looking here, and it kind of looked like she bedded here because there's blood there and blood here, and it's kind of all patted down. I was just telling him that this looks like a little bit of a bed right here because there's a big clump of blood here and right here, and the grass is kind of smashed down. When my husband taps me on the shoulder and says, "Look up, babe, your deer's right there." And I look up and she's bedded just over here. I can't believe he found my deer. I'm so happy. So she's right there. Oh my gosh. And you know, I was really worried too because we came up over this hill following the blood trail and 3 deer took off right where I'm standing. There's people coming on the hiking trail. I don't want them to know that there's a dead deer over here, so let's just be quiet and wait for them to pass.
Well, at least we have a trail.
I know. At least we have a trail to drag her out. I'm so happy I found this deer. Oh, my husband found it, actually. She's little, but, you know, and with only 2 weeks left in the season, I'm not trying to be picky. I'm just trying to fill my freezer, so this will be a pretty easy drag out, honestly. All right, let's get her out of here. Look at this buck rub she died by. Oh my gosh, something was eating at her. What the heck? Oh no. Like a coyote or something got at her. Oh my gosh.
Is that bad?
Well, I know, I mean, it's just, the meat will still be good, but that's just unfortunate. That's what happens when you decide to leave them, is that sometimes a coyote can come at them.
It doesn't look like it got much meat.
Look, this is where my exit wound came. How in the hell did she come this far with that being my exit wound?
It looks like a perfect shot.
I know, but I didn't shoot her on this side. This was the exit. Pull up my sleeves. That looks like a coyote got her. I want to see where the exit wound is. Oh. Ooh, she's stiff. My shot is perfect. Look at it. My shot is perfect. How in the heck did she go like 200 something yards? These does out here, man, I don't know if they're made of steel or what, but look, right here, shoulder, halfway up the body. That is exactly where I aimed. I'm gonna have to look at my map. It'll be interesting to see exactly how far she went, but I know we've been tracking her for at least 200 yards. I don't know how she went this far with my rage broadhead and a complete pass-through. I mean, this is a double lung shot. What? I don't get it. I really don't. All right, well, I got a lot of work to do. It's a small deer, but at least we'll have there's a hiking trail right here that we can drag her out by, so. All right, let the work begin. County of Hargis. I'm pretty sure this is Ross County. I'll have to double check that. You've got Joe. Blink. All right. have like the longest drag. It's more than a half a mile back in here. Oh. Okay.